And yeah, with Earthlings, there's so much kind of, I wanted it to be psychedelic. I'm really drawn to that, and there's been so much black work done in psychedelia, and that's fascinating to me, like whether it's Hendrix or Clinton, or just the weird and the unraveling, or or Sun Ra, or the idea that to be free is to reject so much of what's gone before. And I felt, in music, that you can just get scrambly and messy. I am not a trained jazz musician, and my way into music is much more through sort of punk and DIY music, but I'm really drawn to brilliant jazz musicians who can be all over it. And I always feel like I'm often in playing with them, just kind of holding on to, holding on to the reins, like doing as well as I can. But it's very exciting to me, and the few times in my life I've got to play with, Wayne Shorter or Herbie Hancock, or I have felt this kind of spiraling upwards cosmic thing where I am doing something, I'm singing and performing in a way that I know I can't do, but I'm being pulled into it, or through it, through their skill and their sort of Jedi, powers. And similarly, on Earthlings, I'm performing with Stephen Brown, and I think it was like a harpsichord thing that he was playing. It wasn't a harpsichord, it was like, what do they call it now? This part will cut out. I'm just trying to remember the exact instrument so I don't sound like someone who doesn't know what they're talking about.
Oh, listen.
What's it called when it's like a 70s instrument. Oh, clavinet. Yeah. Stephen Brown is playing clavinet, but he's playing it with this like wah pedal, this like whammy pedal. So it's like kind of it's strings anyway that bend, that are being plucked, and then it's an effect that's being plucked, and it's all sort of syncing. And Earthlings itself is a reprise from another song that I've written that's part of the second part of Black Rainbow. So it's already felt like it was kind of coming around again. But I like the idea of saying Earthlings, don't you know we can start again? And Steve and I, we sort of have this disagreement about whether this is positive or not. He kind of sees it as in a spaceship where all is lost, and there's like the floating bodies of the crew. We haven't taken our moment, and we're in space, and all is lost. And I sometimes see it as that we have the opportunity to start again, a bit like in that, the remake they made of Mad Max, where they're going away from the destroyed Earth. There's not even water to drink. There's petrol flowing instead of water, and there's just dust and dryness. And they're going to an imagined utopia, and when they get there, there's nothing. It's all dry and dusty. So they do this about turn and start tearing back, racing back to the destroyed planet, because that's all there is. And they start to grow, and they find a source of water. And that. In order to exist as a person, I have to be a hopeful person. And so my hope feeling is that we as people can transcend, reconnect to each other, reconnect to the vibration that unites us, and transform our living conditions to make them equal for people, so that we can remove poverty, so that we can remove hunger, so that we can remove all the constructs that we've made that keep us apart, that are artificial, that we can recognize our differences and our different heritages and histories, and not seek to ignore the pain of our past, but that we can move into a future where we feel this unity and where we feel this empathy for one another. I think empathy is so powerful. Imagine all the people who are holding levers of power having a transformation into radical empathy, where they think we can't enact these decisions because they're polluting people's water and destroying people's homes, and they're making it so there's a cap on where people can't escape poverty. That if there was a kind of breaking of what people knew, so that it was like a a sheet of glass that could break and then they could see behind it into a different kind of reality. I think that it's possible. I think that it's necessary. I have to believe that in order to get out of bed in the morning, that we can do this. So I think, we can start again.